Welcome, everyone, to Sports Buzz. I am Zach Barnett, and I'm joined in by Super Bowl champion defensive back Kyle Arrington. Uh, but we've been trying to rock and roll this for a long time, guys. So we gotta make this happen this time. So the first question, Kyle, I have for you, like you've been a part of different cultures, winning cultures, uh, teams that haven't had success on the field. So what is the difference between both those cultures?
I love how
Winning
you
and what?
were politically correct on that. Was it winning? Not so winning.
Mm-hmm. What?
Ah,
What?
man, yeah. That's a great question. I mean, I couldn't get a softball, right off the bat, anything like that. Um, the difference between cultures, man. It's a lot. Sometimes it's multifaceted because when you're talking about, especially if you were just talking about the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
As a whole, man. It's just some elements, a lot of elements that could go into that because for example, the reason I say that when actually left New England, went to Baltimore, obviously where those that's another Baltimore is another historically a team that's always competitive, always in contention. And for whatever reason, the first year I got there, we only won, I think, 4 or 5 games that year. I mean, injuries, played by injury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was ever a question of leadership. I had great guys in the locker room. Harbaugh is always, as hard-nosed as they come, but very still a good balance between being no hardball coach, hard-nosed coach, but still player-friendly to a degree. Really cares about you. Great ownership, the Bashadi. Um, so that's one example, and another one is just that there's just not, great leadership. So you look at certain, or I don't know, I won't name names, but you look at certain organizations, they get for whatever whether it's all the way at the top when it comes to ownership, whether it's coaching, whatever the case may be. I think sometimes they get in their own way, and
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, that could be the difference.
Let's drop some. The Panthers,
I mean,
several
your
several
words, your
teams.
words, not mine.
So I'm glad you mentioned the Ravens. So this is basically like a current topic type of question. How far away are they from winning a Super Bowl?
Oh man, this is their window.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a pretty good window the past few seasons. They really had a great shot at it this year, adding the likes of a Derrick Henry, just a 1-2 combination punch right there with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I mean, it's almost like playing Madden. When you start putting
Mm-hmm.
guys on other teams, and you build these super teams. Things didn't go their way when it came to the playoff round, running into the Bills that game. But I think that this is the window, and the window's not going to stay open very much longer. So yeah, that they got to take advantage of it.
I think they should put more around Lamar Jackson, either
Mhm.
on the defensive side of the ball, whether it's a few more corners, uh, DNs. They just need
Mhm.
a little,
You know,
just a little bit more. I would
so
say.
the Rex they've always been a great regular season team.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of teams out there who are a great regular season team, but when it comes to playoffs, for whatever reason, they don't play how they were, during the season. But some of those,
Mm-hmm.
I will say, when it comes to the Ravens, the difference that I always find when it comes to championship level teams is, do you win the games you're supposed to? And so when it comes to the Ravens, sometimes during the regular season, you'll see them lose some of those games that they had no business losing, and that can make all the difference in the world when it comes to home field advantage in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just leaving no stone unturned in that regard would definitely serve them justice moving forward heading into this upcoming season.
True, and I think they really do need home field advantage because they've been on the road every single playoffs the last 3 or 4
I mean, I'm
years.
sure all teams will prefer that.
True, true. So we mentioned the Ravens, the Patriots, several teams throughout the interview so far. So 2025 free agency just hit just a couple weeks ago. So within that time, who do you think's won free agency this year?
Who's winning free agent? I said, and shoot, anybody that got signed this year. I mean, when the salary cap would I think it rose again.
Mm-hmm.
And so hey, business is booming. I would say that much. Anybody that got signed this year, man, this has definitely been a money making off season. But I mean, well deserved. Every guy, all those guys. I'd be the first one to tell you to vouch that so much work, sacrifice, effort. We put
Mm-hmm.
life and limb on the line out there, so it's well deserved. So congratulations to all the guys and the new beginnings. And so, but to answer your question, I
Your former team went on
I
I
thought,
guess
yeah, so we just picked, yeah, just picked up Stefan. I
yep.
like the pick up there. When you think of Drake, when you think Drake May, a young quarterback coming off of his freshman campaign, definitely needs a veteran presence as far as in that receiver core that he's going to need to lean on. And so just yeah, I'll be very interested to see the dynamic and how it works out there. Um, Man, I don't know. You know what? You tell me who would you take? Who would you take first? So let me answer your question with the question. Who would you take first?
I'm thinking, man.
You
Because
think?
the Patriots, they had all that cap space, so it's easy for them to be
Mhm,
the top dogs because they
mhm,
had the money to spend. So I think potentially Seattle. Seattle made some key pickups.
mhm.
Cooper
They made some
Cup.
splashes.
They're one of the teams. The Rams. They got Devontae Adams in that room now as the receiver. Several teams. They
Mhm.
crucial. The
I like
Bears.
the
The
yeah.
Bears bolstered that offensive line to protect Caleb
Mhm.
Williams. That's
Much
crucial.
needed, much needed. I like the Commanders. I like what the Commanders did as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very great, very surprising Cinderella team of last season.
Yep.
They only just got better. And we still have to see what everyone does in the draft. I know they went out and got Debo. He's just a Swiss Army knife, right? You could put him anywhere. They also brought in who's my guy's name? Brought in an O lineman though to help them on the O line to protect their investment in Jaden Daniels. So I mean the future is bright there for the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'll definitely be on the lookout to see what they do.
I really want them to go far in the playoffs because, like, they've a long period. What is it, like 30 years since they've
Mhm.
made a deep run in the playoffs?
Once again, going back to leadership. Not saying any names, as far as the previous owner there, but what you just see the night and day difference. It
True.
was so many decades of just mediocrity to at best, I guess mediocrity at best. And so you see what leadership can do, and you also just implanting a guy like Dan Quinn as head coach, man. He's just one of those guys, man, almost like a Dan Campbell that you will run through a wall for, man. He really
Mm-hmm.
cares about his guys, has his guys' best interests at heart. And he's also a Hofstra guy. So I mean, what's not to love? What's not to love about Dan Quinn?
I hear you, man. So, Kyle, my last topic that I like hitting on, five descriptive words that
Hmm.
relate to this. So, how do you describe winning a Super Bowl championship in 5 words? That's tough.
Nothing but a euphoric feeling.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's really hard to describe other than this euphoria. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. I know you got some guys out there like I want to say just the latest guy was what's my guy's kid's name from Devontae Smith.
hmm.
Yeah, from the Eagles, and I also want to say AJ Brown. So something about that Eagles locker room. I don't know. They would say no, we won it, but then it was like, what's next? And don't get me wrong, I get the mindset. I definitely get the mindset and that approach. Always being able in Devontae Smith. He even explained in a way where he's been college, winning the Heisman, playing in national championships, playing in Super. So yeah, he's always played on the big stage.
Hmm.
And I totally understand where he's coming from in that regard, and I understand also where AJ Brown's coming from. And just back to the grind is so we got to do it all over again. So we can't live in this moment, and you can't. But you also want to relish it.
Hmm.
Because I mean, there's so many people, so many great players and athletes. You think of like the Dan Marinos who have come and gone in this league, who have never had the opportunity one play and to even win a Super Bowl title. So you are certainly in illustrious company, and you are forever immortalized to that degree. So I mean, so some things you could, I mean, we understand as athletes and competitors, but
Hmm.
I think when you're out talking to, having conversations like this, I think always just project like humility, for the opportunity, for the experience, and just for the win.
Absolutely. And your former teammate, I guess, said it best. Tom Brady, what's your best ring? The next
There you
one.
go. Exactly. I mean, yeah, that's goat talk right there.
Absolutely. Well, Kyle Arrington, this concludes our interview on Sports Buzz with me, Zach Barnett, and we'd welcome you back for another one, man.